You know when you look at someone, and you can just tell they've lived 1,000 lives, or maybe you felt that about yourself. Well, today we're diving into a really powerful idea. That profound hardship, the stuff that feels like it's going to break you, might actually be forging you into something incredibly strong. Let's get into it.
It's this look, right? It's in the eyes, and it has nothing to do with how old you are. It's the kind of depth that only comes from surviving things that, well, that would break most people. So if you've ever felt like you're an old soul, kind of disconnected from all the small, everyday dramas, then what we're about to talk about is really going to hit home.
It's the story so many of us tell ourselves, isn't it? That the hard times left us worn out, broken, that we're missing some essential piece of ourselves that everyone else has. It's so easy to carry that feeling around, to see yourself as, damaged goods.
But what if that story, the one about being broken, is only half the picture? What if it's not even the most important half? Because actually, the field of psychology offers a much more powerful, and honestly, a way more empowering story.
Okay, so we've all heard of post-traumatic stress, right? The struggle that follows adversity. It's the story we know. But what we almost never talk about is its incredible counterpart, post-traumatic growth. This is the idea that the struggle itself can actually be the very thing that triggers amazing, positive change.
So, post-traumatic growth isn't about just bouncing back to who you used to be. Not at all. It's about being fundamentally transformed by what you went through. It's like you were forged in fire, and you came out with these rare strengths you just couldn't have gotten any other way.
So what does this growth actually look like in the real world? Well, it shows up as these tangible, almost unbreakable strengths. Let's walk through 3 of them and just see if you recognize yourself in any of this.
The first strength is something we can call high-definition empathy. And this is so much more than just feeling sorry for someone. It's like you see the world in a different resolution. While most people understand pain as a theory, you know its texture. You've lived it.
Your own past becomes this kind of superpower, a sort of radar for pain. You see, because you've been in that dark place yourself, you can spot someone else standing there from a mile away. You pick up on the subtle signs everyone else misses, because you know the territory by heart.
Does any of this ring a bell? Like strangers tell you their deepest secrets after 5 minutes because they just sense you're not going to judge them. You don't have time for superficial chit-chat because you know how precious life is. You've become this sanctuary for other people just because you know exactly how much it hurts to be lost at sea.
But here's the thing. Your past didn't just make you softer. It also made you incredibly tough where it really counts. And this brings us to our second strength, crisis competence. It's this wild paradox where you become the calmest person in the room right when everything is falling apart.
Think about it. When most people face a sudden crisis, a medical scare, a huge financial problem, their system just floods with panic. They freeze. But you might have noticed you do the opposite. As the chaos ramps up, you actually get calmer. You become the eye of the storm.
So why does this happen? It's because you've survived so much that your internal definition of a crisis has permanently shifted. You're battle-tested. Things like a flat tire or a rude comment, they barely make a dent. You faced down real dragons and survived. So you're the one making the plan while everyone else is still screaming.
And when you survive those kinds of crises, it makes things incredibly clear. You figure out what truly matters. And that leads us to our third, and maybe the most profound, strength. A fierce commitment to radical authenticity.
Just think about what this really means. A lot of people who've had it easy are terrified of what others think, so they wear all these social masks to fit in. But when you have been pushed to your absolute limit, when you've had to burn those masks just to stay warm, the need to impress anyone just evaporates.
You end up with zero tolerance for anything fake. You value your time way more than status symbols because you know, deep down, that none of it is guaranteed. And yet, this level of realness might intimidate people who are living a lie, but it makes you an absolute magnet for anyone else who is searching for the truth. You become the real deal in a world full of plastic.
So, how do we take all these strengths and build a new self-image? One that finally lets us throw out that old, tired story of being broken. Well, for that, we can look to this beautiful Japanese art form called kintsugi. It's the perfect metaphor for this kind of transformation. With kintsugi, when a treasured piece of pottery breaks, they don't just toss it out. No way. They meticulously glue the pieces back together, but they use a special lacquer mixed with powdered gold to fill in the cracks,
they actually highlight the breakage.
But it's the philosophy behind it that's so profound. The break isn't seen as something to hide, it's an essential part of the object's history. That liquid gold doesn't just repair it, it celebrates the cracks, making the piece stronger, more valuable, and way more beautiful than it ever was before it broke.
And this is your new self-image. Your scars, your history, all the things you once thought made you damaged, those are your lines of gold. They're not flaws, they are proof that you healed, that you grew, and that you're now capable of holding so much more light precisely because you've been cracked open.
Seriously, don't envy the people who've had an easy path. They're fragile. A little pressure and they might shatter. You're something else entirely. You are anti-fragile. That means you don't just withstand shocks, you actually get stronger from them. This kind of strength, you can't buy it, you can't fake it, and nobody can teach it to you. It was earned in the fire. So the story is no longer about what you've lost. It's about the incredible, unbreakable strength you've gained. And the only question that matters now is, what are you going to build with it?